This simple fact is the key to the ability of the institutions of Wall Street and its global counterparts to rule the world. Money, particularly money that is created out of nothing without any contribution to the creation of anything of corresponding value, is phantom wealth. It has no substance or intrinsic utility. So what is real wealth? We might say it is anything that has real value. Land, labor, knowledge, food, education. But most valuable of all are those forms of wealth that are beyond price. Love, a healthy, happy child, a job that provides a sense of self-worth and contribution, membership in a strong, caring community, a healthy, vibrant, natural environment, peace. These are all the forms of real wealth. Are you with me? Yeah. I did my graduate education in business, studied a lot of business and economics. A lot of people study economics and business in our society, and in those courses, we are taught to treat money and wealth as one and the same. Consequently, we fail to notice that the inflation of financial bubbles, the abuse of power of banks to create money from nothing, corporate asset stripping, bogus bond ratings, and creative accounting, they're all making money for the few while at the same time destroying the real wealth of the many. It's almost an act of self-hypnosis, self-delusion. On the financial side, the system suppressed the wages of the majority of people while using the power of advertising to cajole them to buy more than their wages afforded by accumulating debt for the lack of an adequate wage, debt that they had no means to repay. The borrowers lost their homes and jobs, and the CEOs of the big banks got taxpayer-funded bailouts. Now, there's another reason why we let the Wall Street privateers get away with their scam. It is a simple story, endlessly repeated in our media. We hear it over and over. It's a story that frames our understanding of the economy and economic performance. Economic growth is measured by gross domestic product, GDP, creates wealth to provide material abundance for all, increase human happiness, end poverty, and heal the environment. The faster we consume, the faster the economy grows, and the wealthier we become as the rising tide lifts all boats. A corporation's profits are a measure of its contribution to this wonderful wealth creation process. Is that story familiar? Have you ever suspected there might be just something that's not quite right about it? GDP, of course, actually measures the rate at which the economy is extracting useful resources from nature, running them through the economic system, and disposing of them as toxic waste in our air, water, and soils. You know, I was stunned when I first realized the truth, that our current economic policies and institutions are all based on the stupid idea that the faster we convert useful resources to toxic garbage, the richer we are. Now, the only real beneficiaries of this collective madness are a very small group of very rich people who reap the financial gains generated by large corporations positioned to benefit financially from every economic transaction, irrespective of whether that transaction is beneficial or harmful to society. For the rest of us, it is rather like intentionally burning down our house to keep warm and fanning the flames to make it burn faster. As individuals, only the terminally insane would make this foolish error. But as a nation and as a species, we seem not to notice. We have yet to translate our individual intelligence into an effective collective intelligence. This is very key. I've come increasingly to realize that most people know the truth in their hearts, but we're afraid to express it because the story we keep hearing in the society is totally contrary. And as long as we keep it secret, we never realize that we're not alone, that it is the public story that is the lie. We cannot resolve the issues of environmental destruction and extreme inequality by treating the symptoms. In most countries, particularly the most profligate, We must reduce overall consumption, and we must redistribute available resources from rich to poor and from destructive to non-destructive, essential, beneficial uses. This requires turning our present economic system upside down and inside out. It requires ending war and converting to a peace economy, eliminating automobile dependence in favor of compact communities that bring home, work, recreation, shopping, and other aspects of our lives into close proximity. It means curtailing advertising and redirecting those creative and media resources to education, ending financial speculation and redirecting investment to productive, sustainable enterprises devoted to meeting community needs. This list is just a start. Note that none of this, nothing on this list is about sacrifice. It's about sensible priorities and creating a better way of life. Now we hear frequent reference these days to a distinction between the Wall Street economy and the Main Street economy. It is a crucial difference. Wall Street uses money to make money for people who have money without the burden of producing anything of value in return. As we've noted, money diverse from anything of real value is phantom wealth, an illusion, a mirage. Wall Street corporations are all in the same business, creating phantom wealth to create unearned claims against the real wealth of the rest of society for those who least deserve them. Any useful good or service produced as a consequence of this production of phantom wealth is purely incidental. It's actually striking if you read certain opinions in the business press. They almost consider those corporations that actually produce something useful rather than engaging in this secret creation of phantom wealth without producing anything of real value. They're the unproductive ones, the inefficient ones. Because real genius creates wealth from nothing. The Wall Street economy and its institutions function as a doomsday machine. They are corrupt beyond repair. We best use the financial collapse as an opportunity to replace them with a new financial system accountable to Main Street. The Main Street economy is comprised of local businesses and working people engaged in producing real goods and services to meet real needs. It has been battered and tattered by the intrusions of Wall Street corporations. It is, however, in revival in communities all across the nation as they rally to declare their independence from Wall Street and rebuild the community-serving economies they once knew. It is a logical foundation on which to build a new real wealth economy of green jobs, responsible community-oriented businesses, and sound environmental practices. My new book, Agenda for a New Economy, From Phantom Wealth to Real Wealth, spells out a number of the measures we can take to hasten the fall of Wall Street as we build a new economy on the foundation of Main Street. I'll mention just a few of the necessary measures here. Let's start with new performance indicators. I would suggest that the only legitimate function of an economic system is to serve life. You know, this stuff isn't rocket science. At present, however, we assess economic performance solely against financial indicators, particularly gross domestic product or GDP, while disregarding social and environmental consequences. This is not a wise choice. We get what we measure. Phantom wealth and the hundreds of trillions of dollars at the expense of the real wealth of people, community, and nature. We can and we should evaluate economic performance against indicators of what we really want: healthy children, families, strong communities, and vibrant natural systems. This, of course, would place life values ahead of money values and dramatically reframe both our public and private economic priorities. Excessive corporate profits and exorbitant executive compensation packages come at an extremely high cost to society in the form of public subsidies and uncompensated social and environmental costs. To restore balance, we must eliminate the subsidies and assess compensating fees to recover the public cost of substandard wages and working conditions, expropriated and contaminated environmental resources, and excessive burdens on public services. This will force predatory businesses to close their doors. Responsible businesses will prosper.